Imagine, if you will, a superpower built on the backs of an enslaved people. A nation so mighty that, honestly, its every whim was law. This isn't just ancient history. It's really the crucible from which an entire faith and even global movements would emerge. This is the story of the Exodus, and it begins not with a hero, but, well, with a horrifying decree. For centuries, the descendants of Jacob, the Israelites, had lived in Egypt. Initially, they were welcomed, when they moved there to be with their brother Joseph, but now, a new Pharaoh, wary of their growing numbers, saw them as a threat. His solution? Brutal forced labor. Imagine working from sunrise to sunset, building monuments for a tyrant who frankly saw you as property. Their cries echoed across the land, reaching the heavens. Many Egyptologists believe the Israelites weren't building the pyramids. Those were far older, actually. They were likely involved in massive New Kingdom building projects, temples, colossal statues, and even the capital city of Pi-Ramesses. The sheer scale of these projects and the manpower required is, well, staggering. Think your boss asks for too much? Try making bricks without straw. That was literally in their job description. Moses, from prince to fugitive. Into this world of oppression, a baby boy was born. Destined for death by Pharaoh's decree to drown all male Israelite infants, he was miraculously saved, plucked from the Nile by Pharaoh's own daughter. This was Moses, an Israelite raised in the lap of luxury, educated in the finest Egyptian academies. One day, witnessing the brutality against his own people, Moses snapped. He killed an Egyptian taskmaster, burying him in the sand. But his secret was out. From prince, he became a fugitive, fleeing into the desolate wilderness of Midian, a land far from the riches of Egypt. Moses' Egyptian name, Mose, meaning son of or born of, as in Thutmose or Ramose, hints at his adopted identity. His Hebrew name, Moshe, comes from the verb to draw out, from water. It's really a fascinating linguistic bridge between his two worlds. This remarkable moment of identity crisis and flight connects deeply with themes of justice and belonging, explored in various ways within Abrahamic faiths. Decades passed. Moses, now a humble shepherd, was in the wilderness near Mount Horeb, and then he saw it, a bush, engulfed in flames yet not consumed. A voice booming from the inferno called his name. It was God revealing himself to Moses, instructing him to return to Egypt and demand the release of his people. Moses, a stutterer by his own admission, initially resisted, full of doubt. But God promised to be with him, to empower him with signs and wonders. This was not just a personal encounter, it was the foundation of a divine mission. The location of Mount Horeb, also known as Mount Sinai, is still debated, but theories range from the traditional Jabal Musa in the Sinai Peninsula to alternative places in Saudi Arabia. The sheer desolation of these proposed locations highlights the isolation Moses experienced. For Jews, this is the foundational moment of their covenant with God. This period marks the beginning of the Jewish people's identity as a distinct nation, chosen by God from among the nations. Moses' calling at the burning bush is the divine initiation of their liberation, the first step in God's covenant with Israel that culminates at Sinai. The memory of Egyptian slavery, or Mitzrayim, is central to Jewish liturgy and annual observances like Passover, serving as a constant reminder of God's redemptive power and their unique relationship with him. For Christians, Moses is a prefigurement of Christ. Moses' miraculous survival and his divine calling prefigured Jesus Christ. Moses, an unlikely deliverer raised in royalty, yet identifying with his oppressed people, foreshadows Christ's divine nature and his identification with humanity. The burning bush, where God reveals "I am who I am," as found in Exodus chapter 3, verse 14, is seen as a profound revelation of God's self-existence and eternal nature, a concept later affirmed in Christian theology regarding the Trinity. For Muslims, Musa, known as Moses in the Judeo-Christian tradition, is a revered prophet. His story is, honestly, profoundly significant in the Quran. He is one of the most frequently mentioned prophets, revered for his steadfastness, his confrontation with Pharaoh, and his direct communication with Allah. Now, Musa's initial reluctance and subsequent acceptance of his prophetic mission at the burning bush, or a similar divine encounter, really demonstrates the weight of prophethood and Allah's power to choose and empower his messengers. And for Rastafari, Moses' struggle against oppression is, well, a powerful symbol of their fight against Babylon, those oppressive systems. The oppressive Babylonian system of Pharaoh is a, potent symbol for Rastafari. Moses' birth and survival against Pharaoh's decree, followed by his flight from an unjust ruler, resonates deeply with their historical experience of slavery and oppression. The narrative of God choosing a leader, Moses, from within the system to liberate an enslaved people directly mirrors their goal for liberation from modern Babylon and the return to their spiritual homeland, Ethiopia, which they consider Zion. Moses, an unlikely hero, armed with a divine mandate, is about to confront the most powerful man on earth. But Pharaoh won't let go easily. Next time, we unleash the plagues. You won't believe the terrifying events that forced an empire to its knees. Like and subscribe to the Primal Text. No fluff, just facts. No sermons, just scripture, history and sacred text.